Hello there folks, these are the hands of me, Dan Brown from Sort of Interesting, and this here is a rather nice table full of organisers, and I just thought basically we've got the end of the year coming up, so I thought I would give a few options of what you may wish to investigate for your organiser next year, as I know that it is quite the cult activity, especially Filofax and Midori. So I suppose really we'll start off with the big guns that we'll all know and love, or certainly all know, which is Filofax. We've got two on the table here and Flex by Filofax there. Now this is the original, and that's the model name rather than meaning the original Filofax. And well, as you can see, this is personal size, and I don't know what it is about this. I suppose you can tell from the general things I've got on the table that I love sort of plain black minimalism, but I really do like the original. And well, if we give you a quick spin around, I don't want to go into too much detail with this because you can search and find all my other videos of these in depth and comparisons and that sort of thing. But I just thought I'd put the organisers together just to give you a general rundown of what's about. And well, if we have a quick look on the inside, this is all the absolute latest version of everything. So this should be what it looks like if you buy one in the next few months. And well, there's your inside cover. And flip it back around. We've even got a nice little flip book there. And another pocket on the back. Now if we have ourselves a quick look, you can obviously see, like I say, I don't want to go into too much detail on these because I've got proper in-depth looks at these all already. We've got our dividers at the front. And well, whoa, my goodness me, if I can actually get a grip of the page. Got your random selection of inserts on the front, and then obviously what we're really interested in is getting to the diary, and this, you can see we've got a week on 2 pages, and that really to me is the ultimate. Seeing a week at a time is the perfect setup. And well, I'll show you in the larger A5 Filofax I've got there just how much I used to use these, but that just gives you a general gist. You've got plenty of writing space, but not so much that you're going to have plenty of blank space left over if you are writing a lot in here. That's just, like I say, a very quick look at these, as I don't want to just post exactly the same video over and over again. For comparison, well, that's fresh in our minds. If we have a look at the A5 Domino Filofax this is from last year, so the inserts are slightly different in here, but as you can see you've got, well, obviously an awful lot more surface area here. And if we flick through, I suppose really we just want to look at the diary, I suppose. And well, you can see, like I say, I was using this an awful lot. But you can see you've got so much room here for everything to go well, different things, like I say. I mean, I had a simple system of different coloured dots, meaning those were things. Green, for example, Jono was sleeping on board on that Sunday. Yellow was work. Blue was moving the boat. So I had this clear visual system for reference, so I could just look and go, right, boat, boat, boat. Jono, what's happening here? And well, as you can see, that basically is, like I say, it's a slightly different style of organiser to what it should be in the new ones if you buy an A5 Filofax. But I just thought I'd give you a general gist so you can see size comparisons and that, and you get a lot more writing on a week to 2 pages in one of those. And well, moving swiftly on once again. Another option here, and I don't know, I quite like these Dodo pad things because they're just a little bit different. They're sort of tongue-in-cheek, a bit humorous. And well, this obviously is 2013, so don't get yourself this one for 2014. But basically what they have got as their sort of, let's flick to some random pages, so you can see you have plenty of writing space on that side, but each page will have some sort of random sort of distraction and random little bit written on it. And similarly, this page has got your sort of, well, I suppose that's 5 different columns for each day. So if that's family members, each person can have their own column to put what they're doing on the day. If it's, I don't know, well, once again, I suppose you could put like boats, home, work, or whatever sort of categories you wanted, and then you've got 5 separate things to keep it all organised. And once again, that's a nice quick reference. And well, like I say, you've got just all of this sort of random design. every page is different. There's something random on all of these different pages to keep it fresh and interesting. And like I say, I mean, I don't know what the new version of this is like, but this gives you a general idea that it's just a nice sort of humorous multi-event planner, I don't know, however you want to call it. But once again, that's another option. I apologise if I sound like I'm rushing this video, but I really don't want to just make a 20-minute long video saying, look at this, look at this, look at this. Oh yeah, by the way, you can see much better looks of all these on my other videos. I suppose Flex by Filofax is another one. Now this is sort of almost like their answer to something like a Midori system, which we'll look at in a second. But basically you have all sorts of different notebooks and different sized inserts. Like, I mean, for example, if I lean across there, I've got a flip book, which if I wanted I could take that out and then put the flip book in there, or I could take that book out and use it to hold a phone, and then even things like the pen holders you can move around or take out completely. And you've got all sorts of options for these. But just to demonstrate, we've got another week to view diary in this at the moment, and you can see once again I have my simple like colour coded system in here. And well, once again, you don't get loads of room to write, and these books I do find if you have two, like that's just a plain notebook for example, whichever way the front is, I don't know, but because these books are so thick, just adding two of the sort of the big books suddenly makes it very thick indeed, whereas in there, I mean at the minute I've only got two thin books, but I feel that the Midori is always slightly more pocket worthy somehow. So that's the Flex by Filofax. That might be worth a look. I certainly enjoyed using this up until I discovered the good old Midori. Right, what have we got left? Mood and Midori. Midori I always talk about all the time, so we'll have a look at the Mood Diary. Now this I really do like, and there's something about this that it's really sleek. I don't know whether it's the silver on the black, and in fact it's got this unusual two bars sticking through that keep everything together. If we open that up, another detail I like is the way that somehow the cover curves around to create a pen holder in there as well. But once again, this I'm a very big fan of. I really do like just the general, well, it's just slightly different. It almost looks a little bit futuristic with all silver and black. And like I say, those two bars on the side there, well, it's not something that you see on something like a Filofax or any of these other ones in general. I will say now, obviously, the Moleskine have got quite a few notebook diaries as well, but I haven't got any of those to hand at the moment. But there's obviously another name that you'll know. And well, if we have a look in here, you can see we've got various sort of options, and you're like sort of year planner in months as lists of days there. But once again, it's just got that sort of slightly different setup, layout, whatever you want to call it. Sunday, however, you don't have much room to write at all in, but ultimately I suppose most people who would be using this will be using these as sort of more general things to, well, obviously like jotting down things for work and that sort of thing, or any little things you want to remember. And also, as a nice little touch here, you've also got the hours of the day down, so if you wanted to put in things like appointments or anything like that, you could also use this in that way. And well, once again, pretty much the diary's going to be the same all the way through, as you would imagine. A nice little touch that this has got, which is the same as on the Dodo Pad for 2013 at least, is you've got these perforated corners, so you can tear them off as you go. So that means when it comes to opening it up to whatever day that you want to be looking at or entering on, whatever the current day is or current week, if you've been tearing these corners off as you go, you're literally going to be able to flick it open and quite literally just go straight to the page that you want. So that's a nice little thing. And I don't know what it is, it feels really smooth as well. I just really like the Mood Diary. So yeah, make sure you check that out, because that's well worth a look. And well, like I say, if you Google these, you'll find various shops selling them throughout the world. And well, that's definitely something to have a look at. And Mood is something that's not a brand that's as well known, I don't think, or certainly not in this part of the world. And moving on, keeping this absolute machine gun speech that I've got going on flowing, we will have a look at my absolutely, the apple of my eye that is the Midori at the moment. And I'm currently experimenting using this as my wallet as well, as I cover up all of my cards and details in the back obsessively there. And well, as you can see, it's like using it as a wallet or whatever. I've got this little bit entered in, which obviously you don't have to have something that's so sort of, I don't know, the plastic seems completely out of, I don't know, out of sync with all of the traditional look, and the fact that this is now getting nice and worn and very travelled looking as well. But basically, with the Midoris, you have an elastic band that goes down the middle that you can then use, if I find the middle, to hold a book in and then add other bands around to add more books. I'd say up to 3 is the maximum you'd want, and then obviously you've got extra inserts like this that you can have. And what I want to actually show you, I've taken out at the minute because I'm using it as a wallet. And 1 second, that's rather embarrassing. And this is what I wanted to show you in the Midori, had I had it to hand. And basically, this is they call it the free diary. And there's all sorts of different variations of inserts that you can get for that. And various other companies, like my beloved Scout books that I always talk about, that do all sorts of really nicely designed covers. And those books fit perfectly into that as well. But basically, the free diary, you've got a grid and a layout to enter in a month to view, basically. But there's no actual dates or days or anything like that entered in. So that means you can literally set this up exactly how you want it. And obviously, if you want to miss out months in a row, like for example, I'm not going to be moving the boat around at the minute, so I'm probably not going to use it for a couple of months because, as you can see, all of these blues are when I was moving the boat and keeping a record of where it was and when. And so that obviously is very useful for everything at a glance. You've got a little bit of room, like not loads of room to write many, anything detailed I would say that you couldn't really put in there. But it's the sort of fundamental thing of you've got the ability to set it up exactly how you want it. So if you wanted to start a week on a Thursday, then you just write Thursday and then put the days in like that. And ultimately, again, if you want to go for 5 months and not use this, you haven't wasted 5 months worth of paper. You can literally just flip to the next clean page and then enter the month that you're at. So it could go from, I don't know, say October to March, for example. And that's something that I really like, and that's something I think is well worth a look at. The Midori stuff is, I suppose, a lot of these things like the Filofax and the Midori are very premium sort of items. The mood is, I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head how much that is. But the Dodo Pad's definitely the cheapest option that we've got on here, as would a lot of the moleskins, I suppose. Whereas the Midori's a little bit more premium. I mean, this is probably going to cost you something like 40 quid just for the cover of this. But once again, you've, like you say, got the ability to put whatever inserts you want in and out, and swap notebooks pretty easily. So, I mean, for example, like I say, because I've got the extra width of putting this stuff in to use as my diary, as my wallet, I've taken out that because I'm not going to be using it too much over the winter months. But I've still got my notebooks with my lovely little tags at the top there of all like the jobs and shopping lists and things to do and videos to record, all that sort of stuff. And, well, really, I suppose that's been a very quick look at a few of the options that are available. That's Midori, Filofax obviously, Flex by Filofax, Dodo Pad, Mood. I mean, you could literally do an endless video on hundreds of different diaries if you wanted, but unfortunately I don't have the time and resources to do such a thing. But I just thought I'd throw out a few options, a few things like Flex and Dodo Pad and Midori, Mood, that people might not be familiar with and might not be as well known as Moleskine and Filofax. There are a ton of options out there. Dive into the internet, have a look, Google around. Make sure you check out my other videos. I'll leave a link to the playlist to all my notebook videos in the description below, if Google haven't moved it to some other place on the page by the time I finish this. And, well, really, check out my other videos for a load more of these. Check out my other videos for a load more videos about living on a narrowboat. That might be interesting, I don't know. And, well, until the next time, have a fantastic day. Subscribe, like the Facebook page, And well, I'll see you around soon. Farewell.